All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time. I hope that everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend and you're all into your busy Tuesday. So we appreciate you carving out some time to talk a little bit about securing your clients' businesses with unified threat management. I'm Brian Lammers, joined today by Chris Gaccio, our VP of Security and Network Engineering. He really heads up our design and engineering team that puts these security programs together for clients large and small to really give them a security posture that they can feel good about, have peace of mind, and really works together with the other solutions we provide so they can have a unified solution for viruses, attacks, all the things that can be faced by really any company with email or web presence. So again, thank you for joining us, and we'll go ahead and get started real quick. Just a little on Powernet. Most of you are familiar with us, but in case some of you aren't, I've been around about 28 years. I started as a telecommunications reseller, and really through the years have grown to expand the product catalog and the solution catalog to include almost every type of communications that businesses rely on today to do business or to provide to their clients as well. So we are headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio. Chris is based in Puerto Rico. We have a number of offices in Florida and Utah as well. Right around 100 employees, about 50 to 60% of our employees are engineers. So we really focus on, again, engineering and design is a main focus for what we bring to your clients and what we can help you bring to them. And Chris's team is really great in that, you know, they're always very willing to get on calls and work through what the client is facing. Everyone is different. And so they are not just, you know, techie guys and gals. They can really talk through from a sales perspective and really help the client, your clients see, you know, the vision of where they want to be and help them reach that vision. So we do have our 24/7 network operations center. Another thing that we feel separates us from a support standpoint. Of course, the design and engineering and implementation, all very key to a great customer experience. But after the sale is where we can really shine from a support standpoint and give them 24/7 access to any questions, changes, things that they may need. Before we start specifically into unified threat management, just a quick snapshot here of many of our products, not all, but a good idea of what we provide day to day to our clients and your clients in the channel. So again, it's really, we try to make it a complete solution that really helps you from a residual income standpoint, and it helps the client. It gives them something that's cohesive, something that makes sense. It takes their vendor list and reduces it greatly and provides everything on a simple invoice that they can easily reconcile, and they know what they're paying for. And, you know, just from a support standpoint, who we call if this breaks or if this goes down or something, you know, we want to change something, we made it very simple for them to have that unified solution. And then some of the verticals we serve are listed there as well. As far as unified threat management, you know, you're really, again, looking at anyone with a web presence and email is subject to being attacked or hacked, and we really want to shore that up for them. Security is kind of a baseline, goes along with building the network backbone for our clients. Security is of utmost importance, so we keep their data and their assets safe. So today we'll talk about what unified threat management is. Chris will go through that and, you know, why it's important. I'll jump back in and talk a little bit about, how we can identify opportunities and some things that we can try to open conversations with to engage the sale. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chris at this point. Thank you, Chris.
So real quick, just to jump in kind of at a high level and describe what Unified Threat Management is, or UTM. Many times you'll hear folks refer to it as a UTM firewall or a UTM security appliance. But really what it's doing is it's kind of taking that old traditional firewall that pretty much every organization, whether it's a company or even now with all the folks working at home office employees, things like that. But they had the firewall in place to protect themselves from their internet traffic, right? Whether it was coming or going. And the UTM is really just kind of a next generation of that. And what we're doing there is we're layering on additional security features on top of just that basic firewalling that we were doing traditionally. So some of the common features that you would see in addition to the firewall would be intrusion prevention. So that's actually looking for attacks real time that might be coming or going. Could be something when the user is downloading something, something as simple as an attack inside of an Adobe document, or it could be real-time IPS, where it might be looking at traffic coming and going to a website. So if you're hosting a corporate website and somebody attempts some type of an attack, a SQL injection attack or things like that, the intrusion prevention would detect that real time and prevent that from happening. UTM would typically also contain things like web content and application control and filtering. So this is, it's still security, but it also plays a little bit into employee productivity. So you're able to do things there like blocking inappropriate websites, game sites, gambling sites, things that might just not really, lend very well to employee productivity. But it also does look at, security related sites as well to ensure that people aren't being tricked into going to a site that might be known for hacking or bad downloads, things like that. The UTM appliance would typically also do some type of anti-malware, so looking at antiviruses and things like that, or viruses as they come in. And it would also provide, just some pure networking functionality as well, like remote worker VPNs, site-to-site VPNs, SD-WAN, which is obviously very popular now. So, utilizing multiple carrier links to provide either just, more efficient traffic flows or just pure redundancy. Again, with the redundancy, you could have some things like LTE backup. And we're also seeing some folks utilize some higher or more advanced things like data loss prevention. So that's actually looking within the content of, say, user data as they're sending emails or surfing the web to make sure that maybe they're not posting things like social security numbers or credit card information, things like that. Next slide. All right, so what the infrastructures used to look like without UTM was, again, we all had the firewall in place, but then typically what you would see is there would be multiple vendors involved and multiple security appliances. Again, all handling those things that we just talked about, like the IPS and web filtering and application control, and even some of the newer firewall features, UTM features, have additional built-in capabilities like Wi-Fi controllers and even switch controllers to manage the internal network. So what you're really seeing here is kind of a consolidation of all of those things from multiple vendor platforms that used to require additional maintenance, firmware patches, tracking of those devices from a support perspective, and just high level of administration, kind of combining it down into one UTM device to streamline the security operations, as well as just making the IT team more efficient and the overall environment more secure. Next slide. So the UTM layout and how it works, again, like we mentioned, it's a single vendor appliance that has all these features built in. The nice thing is the way that they've developed these things is that they're super flexible, right? So vast majority of time, what you're going to do is you're going to link this device back into your corporate computer network, right? So your Active Directory in most cases, if folks are on a Microsoft type environment, and the devices are going to help, kind of communicate with that corporate office and the corporate users that are within that office or even working remotely today. So what we can do is we can say, we can set up different security profiles based off of the level of users within the organization. So, going back to something simple like web content filtering that I talked about before, you could have profiles set for executives to where, say, they can get to a higher, more categories of websites, right? Standard employees, you would have additional blocks in place for things like your gambling sites or even job postings or job searches, things like that. So again, it's very, very flexible. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, when it comes to security and networking. You pop this thing at the edge of your network, and it just gives you a complete tool set of all of the different things that you could utilize, and you could do it in a very flexible way. It's not very hard and rigid as far as kind of one policy or one set of policies fits all. You can go ahead and next slide. So again, we just mentioned, with that becoming one device, obviously the goals there or the outcomes there is really having something that's easy to manage, a single view, so I can look at that device, see all of the different traffic flows within my environment, see the different security violations. Many of these devices too will do some correlation of events and provide you with statistics. So you may have a security event that happens, say one morning, and then 4 or 5 hours, something else happens from that same user device. And maybe even the next day, something else happens on that same user device, right? And from an IT perspective or an IT support perspective, sometimes they might not catch that, right? You're doing 1,000 different things in your day. You might see that one of those events, but maybe you didn't see them all, or maybe you just didn't kind of piece it all together. That single pane view will correlate a lot of those events and kind of throw up some weighted threats or possibilities for compromise on different machines. So it gives you a great view of what could be going on in your environment. Historically, going way back when excuse me, when we used to see folks get hit with a virus or something bad in their network would happen, it would happen bad and it would happen fast, right? Well, now when folks breach a network or when hackers breach a network, they typically want to lay low. They're going to come in, they're going to maybe compromise a machine, they might let a little bit of data out, they're going to go look for another machine. So it's more of a ongoing stealthy process. So having that visibility again and the correlation of all that data is super important, and the UTM devices can help you see a lot of that activity going on, even if it's not something that's very impactful, at least at once. And again, just talking about the fact that it is robust security. It's kind of that Swiss Army knife where we can put a lot of different, what used to be a lot of different products from a security perspective, all in one place, manage it super easy, and provide super effective security for that environment. Next.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. So we'll go a little bit through, I said earlier, really businesses of all sizes need unified threat management because of the way that hackers work. They can often, certainly some will go after the really large corporations, but a lot of times you see these mid-level, type hackers who will go after really small businesses just because they know that typically they are more exposed. So they have a less of a security posture than the large corporate businesses. So really businesses of all sizes, particularly, if they have multiple locations, or if their, education is a big one as well. And of course, banking and finance, because that's where the money goes. And, it's just really important to have that security, and again, in a unified fashion, and not spread out over multiple vendors. And like Chris was saying, then you can start to develop, or you can see from that single pane when things are happening, and the right hand knows what the left hand's doing, and it's really just a more complete solution. And again, Chris's team can talk through that with your clients, and we're always happy to help you in those conversations. So don't feel like you need to know everything about this. That's the way we've set up the channel, is for you to lean on us to help have those conversations. So it's in demand. Obviously, it's on a lot of folks' minds. This I was actually on a call the other day, and someone was talking about how much the hacking attempts and the intrusion attempts have gone up since everyone's been working from home, and since of all the recent developments, and it's just really taken off even more than it already was. It's already one of the largest industries in the world, if you want to call it that, as far as dollars lost. And so what we're looking to do is give your clients peace of mind that they know that to the best of, to the best that we can. It's never 100% perfect, but we really want to put something strong in there for them that's going to look at all the different aspects and ways that traffic comes in and out, and keep an eye on that. And like Chris was saying, it's nice when you can put it in that appliance that's on the edge, because then that appliance controls everything, and you don't then typically get things sent all the way down to the desktop, because we know people will click on links, they'll follow emails that they think are from the company president or the CEO, and the more we can reduce those things, the safer the environment's going to be for the client from hacking. So it's very much in demand. Of course, with Powernet, that's certainly not our only product. If we come in there and Chris and his team work with you on a nice consultative sale where we bring in some of the security, then they can kind of see who Powernet is, and we can kind of prove our level of support and how we handle things. And then other services that can follow that. So, whether that's phone or network or data or Wi-Fi, cell boosters, just anything in an office environment that they may need, we can help them with, and again, put it together in that same package, so they don't have to go 5 different places depending on what they need to talk about from a technology standpoint. And then again, as you layer those services, we've the client's got a contract, and we start layering services on that, and then that really helps you build that residual revenue that's recurring month over month, and you can kind of count on it that way. We do contracts just really because it's the industry standard, but we look to earn our renewals. So we're not trying to tie people into something that doesn't fit for them. If it's not a good fit, once we have our initial discussion, we'll certainly let them know that. But again, if we decide to go forward and work with your clients, we expect to earn those renewals on contracts. Just a little bit more about what type of opportunities are out there. If you have someone who does have multiple vendors and they're kind of having difficulty wading through all those different contracts and terms, and who do we call for support for this and that, Powernet can really come in there again. And from a unified threat management standpoint, we can take all the anti-spam, antivirus, all the intrusion detection, and if they've got multiple vendors for those things, we can put that all under a single umbrella and really make it simple for them. And then, of course, with their other solutions as well, whether that be any other Powernet service. So looking to consolidate those types of things, companies with multiple locations, particularly now, and I touch a little bit on number 4, is the way the corporate structure is changing for a lot of businesses who can have remote workers at this point. Many already had remote workers, and I think the industries were kind of moving that way, is more work from home days or more flexibility with technology driving that remote work. But of course, the situation we're in these days, that's just kind of exploded. So, it's that much more important to make sure that UTM structure and the UTM device is handling all that traffic, because a lot of folks are using personal computers and things like that, and personal web access to get their work done. So it just raises the level of that need there with all the remote workers. And then a lot of folks are operating under outdated firewall technology. The great thing about our solution, it's constant updates, keeping track of the latest threats out there, the latest viruses, the latest types of attacks, and auto updating all those things so they can have that peace of mind, like I talked about. And of course, with compliance, companies that are in compliance scenarios, they have auditors come out, and so we can really help them show the auditors that they have a strong security posture. If we need to provide reporting and documentation to help the auditors give them a passing compliance, we will certainly do that as well. The upper level is certainly at organizations certainly concerned. You've got, if there is a chief information officer running the IT organization, they certainly have concern about security. And then the financial officer, these attacks can really cripple the business from a monetary standpoint and from a customer standpoint. When these organizations have these large breaches, they lose a lot of customers because people don't know if they can count on them, and that translates into big dollars. So those folks are very concerned about security. And the initial conversation doesn't have to be very technical. It just has to center around, you get these types of emails from time to time. Have you ever had an attack? What policies and security posture do you have in place today? And really just have a straight, simple conversation, and then you can bring us in, bring Chris and his team in, and then we'll talk through some of the specifics about how we can get them to a strong security. Just a few questions here beyond that is, are your employees protected from internet threats? What kind of vendors and appliances are in the network today? And what kind of solutions are they using for firewall protection? And, just have that simple conversation and find out if there's a need there at all, or if they've, they may refer you to someone else within the organization. And, we're not looking to take the CIO's job away, but they've got a lot on their plate. And so the great thing about Powernet and Chris and his team is that we're very flexible. So we can work within any existing IT structure and be really an arm that helps them. So they're all overwhelmed. They've got constant things going on, server upgrades and moving to the cloud and things like that. So if they can offload some of those things to Powernet from a security standpoint, we can certainly help them with that. I talked a little bit about this. We really try and make it easy on the channel. So we've been channel focused our entire history, I think, except for the first 6 months or something of our 28 years. So we've had a channel program, and we really, understand that you have a lot going on. You have a lot of potential vendors. And so, we try to make it very easy. We try and put our best foot forward, put our resources that we have internally and we give you access to those things, so we can have these types of conversations and really build up those nice large sales that you can count on month after month. So we do offer one-on-one training. So if you're ever interested in something outside of one of these webinars, we can certainly help you with that. You can just contact myself or one of your agent managers for that. And then sales engineering, and that kind of goes to Chris and his team, and design. We have all those resources. So we ask you to lean on us for those things, and we'll help you through a client scenario where we can really put a strong solution forward. And then our marketing team has just done a phenomenal job with putting things around case studies, videos, product slicks. So at any time you need any particular support from that standpoint, again, you can reach out to myself or Nolan or Jason on the agent management team, and we'd be glad to help you with that as well. So real quick with the team, the channel team, if you're not familiar, most of you are. Penny leads our channel team. Jason is based out of Utah and handles pretty much everything west of the Mississippi. And Nolan is based out of Tampa, Florida, and kind of handles eastern seaboard and everything east of the Mississippi. So great folks to work with. I'm very blessed to work with this team, and it's just and then you all are a part of our team as well, because it's just really, really tremendous to be able to work with this team and all of you in the channel, because we've really had a lot of great successes, a lot of things we can hang our hats on. So it's fun to do, and we appreciate everything you guys in the channel have done for us. So again, reach out to anyone here. Be glad to help you with anything you need from a Powernet perspective. And I'm going to open it up to